Philippines-related business. At first, my company was running until 1992.05 2003.12, but I remember working with Uzos KJS Co., Limited in 1999.11. The company will also make it a virtual office with telework support, and will it be its own company? I'd like to see it in the KS apartment in Takara. When I look at Facebook, I am impressed by the wide range of activities such as cooking car, bus company, rental car, rental cow in Ishigaki, and Okinawa Izakaya in Tsuchido recently. I will move to Japan from the end of March next year for the purpose of retirement and developing my children's practical English conversation skills, but I am also thinking of a business related to the Philippines that will support the work of my wife's family, relatives, and acquaintances in the https://ameblo.jp/eme field. Accessory raw shellfish collection and export. Export of luminous shells to accessory processing and sales stores on Ishigaki Island, Okinawa Prefecture. I saw a company that exports luminescent shells and brokered it, or I saw the sea around Cebu and El Nido, and connected it to the income of my brother's wife's family. Okinawan Restaurant Philippines. There are Japan restaurants and ramen restaurants in the Philippines, but there are no Okinawan restaurants. So Okinawan restaurants are expanding to areas where Japan and relatively rich people gather. Rather than the Japan of a weak yen with high food costs, labor costs, and store maintenance costs, the Philippines has a GDP of 1/10. So even offering low prices leads to high profit margins. Compressed rice cracker shop. Philippines development of octopus cracker shop on Inashima Shrine Street. We urgently considered about 3 places around the resort areas: Puerto Galera, El Nido, and Bataan with many people. This place can also get octopus, shrimp, and squid. And it is said that they have developed sorts that can be exported, so it becomes a business. There is no need to worry if sales personnel are also used related to the relatives of the bride. Basil pizza and pasta Okinawa. My sister is currently doing basil pizza and pasta from the Philippines in Okinawa. Other Philippine cake shop, Marikina shoes, and bridal-related products are also developed to meet your needs. My sister does it, so the purchase is cheap. https://www.facebook.com/real/13376135605046009. Provision of excellent human resources. Is there a shortage of Japan human resources who can work seriously in Okinawa? Is there an abundance of foreign workers? In the Philippines, the mother of the mistress used to work as an agent, and if you can accept Okinawa, you can use izakaya, cafeteria and restaurant, hotel, bed making, etc. We can quickly recruit serious and reliable human resources who can become bilingual human resources, and as the first step, we can provide about 6 brothers and relatives of the mistress and about 4 people from relatives of acquaintances. My sister is related to hotel management, and my sister has lived in Japan for 1 year, so of course, I came to Japan after studying in the Philippines. For a simple Japanese. The Filipinos mentioned above are very serious and enthusiastic about their work, and some of them are from college, Philippines. Even if the minimum wage starts, you can provide dreams and hopes to work in Japan, and it will lead to the provision of excellent workplaces where you can work for a long time, which is different from Philippine pubs. Filipino school teachers are about 30,000 pesos, 80,000 yen, and maids in Dubai and Singapore are about 25,000 pesos, 70,000 yen. But as a special case, luxury bars in Makati, since it is 50,000 pesos, 120,000 yen, it is expected that about 100 people will gather in the Philippines network of the wife even if the minimum wage starts. However, there is no problem with the agent work on the Philippine side, but it is also difficult to find a place to accept human resources invitation. Agent work in Okinawa. MOFA, https://www.mofa.go.jp/mofac/tokos/visas/nagare/chuki.html. Provision and dissemination of know-how. Even at the age of 67, I can still work with the knowledge of Microsoft 365 and the information and know-how that responds to users in the field, which is the Japanese version of e-learning information and customization. Since we have already accumulated more than 10 years' worth of resources in the resource, we will make it an English version and send Philippines and also wrap Singapore and Japan, Philippines, Singapore expanded to global companies. Even in Japan, there are few human resources who have know-how. And Philippine BPO business for SharePoint Online is also being developed horizontally. https://www.youtube.com/watch v=OT56303_oxi. Providing an environment where people can provide nursing care that is self-sufficient. Taking advantage of his experience working at his wife's nursing care facility Tsukui. He is a starter human resource for the Philippines base in the near future. We also prepare an environment where cheap nursing care is possible, and prepare and develop a home where people can live based on self-appropriate nursing care in tropical lands where people can move in Japanese even if they live on a cheap pension. Okinawa's base for activities and living. I will move to the Philippines around the end of March next year, but my beloved daughter said, it's impossible to live in an English-speaking country. In preparation for the transmission of Okinawa, we have prepared a living base in Okinawa. At a school in the Philippines, I know Cone, Filipino, Professor La Salle, Associate Professor at the School of Japan Foreign Studies. And La Salle, Lipa is my first choice. Utilization by providing rental cars. 2-seater open Benz SLK 200, red, 1 BOX Benz A170, black. Philippines related business, 1. Luminous shellfish. At first. Accessory raw shellfish collection and export. Regarding the export of luminous shells to accessory processing and sales stores on Ishigaki Island, Okinawa Prefecture, we will see a company that exports luminescent shells and mediate them, or we will see the sea around Cebu and El Nido and link it to the income of the wife of the bride's brother. However, since there is no knowledge of luminous shells, this material is intended to deepen the minimum understanding about luminous shell. Turbomarmoratus is a species of sea snail in the family Paleogastropodidae. It is a large sea snail that lives in the coral reef area of the Indo-Pacific. There is nacre on the back of the heavy shell, and it has been used as a material for spiral work since ancient times. From its name, it is sometimes thought that it glows at night, but the shell itself does not emit light. It is also used for food in the production area. Name. In ancient times, yakugai were called yakugai, yakugai, masukai, yakugai, etc. Such notations are often found in materials from the 9th century onwards, when demand for trade goods increased. The name Yaku came to refer to the current Yakushima after the 7th century, but the northern limit of its distribution, Yakushima, and the name Yakugai are not directly connected. However, before the early 7th century, Yaku is thought to have been a word indicating a vast area including the Amami area, and there is also a view that the name Yakugai was established with the Yaku of that era. In addition, luminous shell is one of the guesses of Yakugai, and it is possible that the reading Yakugai originated from this. The regional names of the Amami archipelago of Yakugai are Yakug and Yakoch, and the regional names of Okinawa and Sakishima Islands are Yakug and Yakugai. Usage history. The soft body of the kagai has already been used for food since prehistoric times. Yakugai has been used for crafts since ancient times because of its beauty, and it is also used as a spiral in treasures of shosoin, such as the flat spiral dorsal octagonal mirror. The maximum rattan material that can be processed from mussels is about 5 cm times 15 cm. And it was prized because it has the advantage of being able to obtain parts that are much larger than the shells of rattan material that can be caught in temperate and subarctic zones. In addition, a large number of mussels have been excavated from 6th and 8th century ruins such as the Tsuchimori Matsunoto ruins, the Yomizaki ruins, and the Kominato Fueganaka ruins, all in Amami City. Most of the sites of such mass excavation are concentrated in the northern part of Amami Oshima. But the amount of shells is overwhelmingly larger than that of prehistoric sites. So it is unlikely that they are simply disposing of food residues, and in addition, fragments of shells have been excavated from the peripheral part of the shell accumulation. So it is possible that shells may be accumulated as a raw material. Alternatively, since the Heian period, yakugai have been consumed in large quantities on the mainland of Japan as rattan and sake cups. And it is possible that the areas near these ruins played a role as a supply area. Feature. Along with the Australian giant sawfly, it is the largest shellfish in the family Lycaenidae. The weight of an adult plant exceeds 2 kilograms, and large ones reach more than 20 centimeters in diameter. The shell has a low spire compared to the size of the opening. Several rows of sauropod processes develop, but may not be continuous and may separate into aneurysms. The shell surface is smooth, in some individuals growth ribs are noticeable. The entire shell surface has a dark green color and has reddish-brown spots. The inside of the shell is pearlescent with a blue to golden tinge. Like other Saisi members, it has a thick lid with calcification. Ecology. Distributed in the Indo-Pacific zone from the tropics to the subtropics. In the waters near Japan, it inhabits the warm waters south of Yakushima and Tanegashima. The habitat is relatively shallow channels and rock hollows at depths of 30 m or shallower, and is not found on the sandy muddy seabed. Basically, they are nocturnal and feed on seaweed. It is impossible to distinguish between male and female from appearance. Breeding activities can be seen all year round except in winter, and are carried out before and after the big tide. The female releases a green egg and the male releases a white sperm. Juvenile shells grow to about 70 mm in 3 years. Use. Seashells were useful as a material for spirals in ancient times, and industrial prolific production areas include the Philippine Islands, Andaman Islands, and Nicobar Islands, and in Japan, the Amami Islands, Okinawa Islands, and Sakishima Islands are known as production areas. Philippines-related business. 1. Job brokerage for foreigners. Jobs for foreigners in Okinawa. In the monthly income ranking of 2020, Japan is 13th at $2,638, and the Philippines is 92nd at $307. And it is also true that there are few long-term employment opportunities of excellent companies unless you go to university. And there are many jobs with spot semi-annual contracts. It is said that the amount of remittances to the Philippines, which is 1/10 of the GDP of Japan, is 1/10 of the domestic GDP. And there are many people working abroad such as Dubai, Singapore, and Brunei. For Filipinos who are not yet highly educated, working in a good workplace in Japan leads to providing dreams and hopes. And if you can provide a talent invitation agent service and a place to accept you, it will lead to long-term employment. Jobs for foreigners in Okinawa. Izakaya, convenience store staff. Cash register, product display, prepared food cooking, etc. Hotel staff. Front desk, room cleaning, bed making, dishwashing, washing area, etc. Example, Alama Hinakanto Hotel, Hamakyopan. Kitchen guest services staff. Example, Friday.co Ltd, small luxury hotel. Food manufacturing staff. Example, GFF.co Ltd. Foreign employees. Responding to emails and phone calls in English, and customer support in English. Building management and maintenance staff. Construction site staff. Microsoft 365 site building and management staff, SharePoint subject matter experts. Microsoft's flagship product, now used by 500 million companies worldwide, provides e-learning materials, customized asset know-how, and educational staff. Software development staff. Example, KJS.co Ltd. Example, Trisashi.co Ltd. Support for obtaining work visas, invitation support, and mediation. Jobs for foreigners in Okinawa. Invitation of Filipino human resources, work visa, and dispatch to foreign countries in Okinawa will be comprehensive operations that include promoter work and dispatch work in the Philippines. Okinawa. This is a direct business, and the pinhane fee of the promoter in the Philippines and the pinhane fee of the dispatch company in Okinawa are all Akamines company profits. Promoters in the Philippines take the first 100,000 from 150,000 pesos, 250,000 from 308,000 yen, per person from those who want to work abroad, so if Filipinos work abroad, it is necessary to prepare that money. However, this proposal can be acquired by deducting salary in consideration of travel expenses to Okinawa, and 2 months until you receive your salary. The work visa is for the first 3 years, but you can repeat it for 2 years by extending it continuously. Most of them work in Japan for about 10 years, save money and return to their home countries, or get married and live permanently. Since you can't do business in this flow unless you are familiar with the situation in the Philippines, I don't think anyone in Japan is doing it yet. It's similar to the old Philippine pub invitation. This is only for 6 months, but since it is a decent job work visa, major companies respond with the intervention of overseas promoters and temp agencies. We are attracting human resources from Vietnam for IT, Indonesia and Thailand for nursing care, and the Philippines and Vietnam for major companies Fujitsu and Toshiba. In 10 years' time, there is expected to be a shortage of more than 800,000 IT human resources in Japan, so even if you look at that region, the share of utilization of foreign human resources is expanding and developing fields. List of posted biodata. 6 persons introduce Melissa, Makina, Kawasaki. 2 persons introduce Medivik, Tatsumai, Kaub. 3 persons introduce Marissa, Seiseoka, Kawasaki. 3 persons introduce Fe, Azasaka, Kawasaki. 6 persons introduce Arlene, Kitajima, Kawasaki. 14 persons introduce Rachel, Hamuro, Kawasaki.